Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Anarchy podcast. I'm your host, Super, and here with me we have the legendary insider, Boo. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Pretty good. That's nice. So, I want to kick this off with asking, how did you get into the whole scene of 2B2T and Anarchy in general?
Well, it was June 1st, 2016, and obviously, Rush released his famous video, oldest server in Anarchy, or oldest server in Minecraft,
Yeah, I remember.
and yeah. I basically woke up one morning. I hadn't watched Rush in like 3 years because I used to be into factions. I watched that video, and about a week later, I logged into 2B2T, and then it was magic from there on.
So, you were, like a lot of people on the server, a Rusher fag,
Yes.
and you said that you came from factions, but to my knowledge, you haven't been in any teams on 2B2T. Is there any reason behind that?
Well, actually, I have been in a I actually created a team. Well, I took part in creating a team back in 2016 called Team Pepsi. There's like
Oh,
a
yeah,
few
sorry, I remember.
founders. There's a few founders of Team Pepsi, and I was one of them. And that's really the only group I've ever taken part in, other than like group bases. And but I mean, like I don't support joining groups. I don't like being in groups. It ruins the anarchy for me, at least.
So, so you're in your minds per se. The whole organization it takes away from the point of anarchy.
Yes, the rules of a group take away from the anarchy on the server, in my opinion. Because usually groups have rules that you have to abide by to be in that group, and I think that takes away from anarchy.
I understand. So, what's your, not by that description on how teams are too controlling, if you will. What do you think is the most like the best group? I mean, I know you're not too fond of Imperium, and we'll get to that soon, but we look at things like Highland, where they don't really have shackles on their members, and like
You know,
yeah, like do you feel like that's the best example of a properly laid down group?
I'm gonna have to go with a classic Voco on top with this one. Voco is the most superior group. It's above all other groups. There's a lot of rules to being in Voco, but overall, you really get to do what you want on 2v2t, and you get to play with the legendary Vocoin. But I mean, yeah, Highland's pretty cool because you can go spawn fag. I mean, if you kill their Highland members that spawn, I'm pretty sure you get in trouble for it. But like a good example is like when Offsets blew up Infrared, and I don't think he caught much flack within Highland for it, which that's pretty cool.
I got it. Thank you. Now, with your joining in 2016, do you feel like 2B2T has sort of a changed since you joined? Like now we're coming into 2019, 1.13 is just around the corner, and how do you think 2B's changed since you've joined for the first time?
Well, I don't think 2b2t itself is necessarily changed, other than like terrible TPS, the state of spawn, stuff like that. I think the community's changed a lot. Like, I
Like
think
for better or
it's
worse?
for worse in some eyes, for worse in my opinion, for better like for some people, I guess. Mainly because uh, it's like spawn fagging. That's a big thing right now. I think I haven't played 2b2 and 2t in a few months, so I don't really know what's popular right now. But like, I
Is it
know spawn
because
fagging's a big thing,
yeah, with
and
a lot of PvP.
that used to not be a big thing back in like early 2016, because none of the rusher fags were really geared.
Uh huh. So you say with the community. Now, have you like with you being gone for a few months? Like, is it just because you're prio, or are you have you had enough of the drama on Tubi?
Um, I mean, I haven't necessarily been off of 2B2T. I hang out in a lot of the 2B2T discords, but like I don't play 2B2T much anymore. Mainly because the queue, because I'm not willing to pay $20 a month just to play on 2B2T, and I'm not willing to wait in like a several hundred person queue. I know it's been like 200 plus recently, or that's at least what I've seen. That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to wait in that just to play a block game.
A block game. Yeah,
A
there's a lot
block
of
game
yeah,
with
there's a
much
lot.
meaning behind it.
Yeah, even Housemaster calls it's just a block game. And that brings me to the seriousness of your presence on the server. Now, you're very infamous on people who don't really know you as someone who takes down. And my biggest indicator of this is your inciting of Imperium for Jared. So can you give us a summary, if you will, of your time with it?
Well, when I first joined Imperium, Jumpy found me in the Voco Discord because you know Voco on top, and I was like you know trying to I was on that Voco grind. I was on that Vocoin grind basically. You know, Jumpy found me in the Jumpy Blaze found me in a Voco call one night, and he invited me to Imperium. And at that time, it had been a few months. Well, a few months before that, Jared had invited me to a base with him called Roads 2, and it basically died out because it just became a stash. And, you know, I was like in Imperium until I7, and then the whole I7 fiasco happened. And after that, Jared recruited me to Inside. And, you know, at that point, I was like, I had already known a lot of the I had gotten to know a lot of people in Imperium at that point. And I just wasn't digging it, you know, because I'd never liked factions before or groups before. So, you know, I didn't feel too bad turning on them.
Like you weren't that attached, so you just felt like why not?
No, not at all. I wasn't attached at all to them.
Do you feel like your whole your inciting has changed your obviously it's changed your perception that the community has on you, but do you feel like you've made a lot of enemies of Imperium?
A lot of enemies from Imperium.
Like because of what you did, you made a lot of enemies.
Yeah, yeah. You could say so. You know, I was kind of a nobody before I incited Imperium. You know, the most notable thing I did before inciting Imperium was making Team Pepsi. And even that happened way back then, and like nobody from that time is still really around. Like there's Rusher fags still around, but like Team Pepsi wasn't all that big. But I think I think the public view on me is bad because a lot of slander goes around about me,
Like what?
mostly because of Imperium. Like things I did inside Imperium, and like
Do you think that you would have had a better experience on 2B and Anarchy in general if you didn't inside Imperium?
nah.
So,
I think.
sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Fuck. You go ahead.
I think I think inciting Imperium was just a heat of the moment thing that happened, and I don't really feel bad about doing it, and I don't think it really changed anything because you know I after Imperium I just went back to my base and you know kind of just moped around my base for a while. Then I'd stop playing 2B2T entirely. Basically, it didn't change much for me other than like the public perception on me.
Which at the time of your inciting, it was like, oh no, he's like the next Pop Bob. But things can be misconstrued.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how was your relationship with Jared? Like, why did you? Or first off, do you ever feel like he was manipulating you?
Not necessarily. Jared and I were basically just friends, and I was doing a favor for him by inciting Imperium. You know, I'm that no life gang. I got nothing to do all day, so inciting Imperium was really nothing. It was just a way to spend my free time.
Yeah, you really put a dent in them, but a lot of people say that you could have gone a lot further than you really did.
I really could have, because at the time I'd just gotten Delta, which is basically the highest achievable rank. Well, not it's not the highest achievable rank, but like there's higher ranks you can achieve, but you just got to be an Imperium for a long time to achieve them. And like Delta's basically the top. Once you've reached Delta, you have so much respect below you. And I mean, like the inner circles, Emperor's really the only inner circle, basically. In the inner councils, none of them do anything. Like Arakudo joins the voice chat once every 3 months. Glowski's dead. I don't even remember the other Furley Oxnop. He doesn't even talk in voice chat. I've never seen him do anything for Imperium. Basically, Delta's the top. And I mean there's Omega, but like only Mike has that, I'm pretty sure. Cause I'm pretty sure Jumpy got demoted. So and I think Jumpy only had that because Jumpy has quite the influence on the group. I digress, by the way. Uh,
Actually, Miller also has Omega.
oh yeah, Miller has Omega, but he's super inactive. He's only online like once a week. But like yeah, I spent a lot of time as Zeta, but like ranks really mean nothing in Imperium. The hierarchy's just there. So the lower level ranks like Sigma and Gamma think they can make it somewhere, but it's really your influence on the group. See, I was invited to most of the like higher up calls. Like if Emperor and Mike were in Roundtable, which is the secret admin channel, I was usually invited to it because I had a big word in Imperium. I had a lot of power in Imperium.
So you having a lot of power, that must have backfired on them real hard, what with your inciting. So what do you think was a nail in the coffin where the final blow, like getting rid of a base, blowing up a stash, like what do you feel you did to most destroy
Uh,
Imperium from the inside?
the big final blow was probably this. This was before the big chunk dupe. Well, it was like basically during the chunk dupe, and basically right before it. Well, Jumpy wasn't playing it this time because he was, excuse me, I burped, grounded. Basically, because Jumpy was grounded, so we stole about 200 dubs of his items, moved it all in like a day, and we started making our own stash. But somehow the stash got leaked, or it got found because it was only like I don't know 200k away from the stash we stole it from.
No.
And basically, what happened is while they were raiding the stash, I was blowing it up on Jared's account while I was in voice chat with them. That was basically the last final blow. That was like the coolest thing I did before I got kicked out or I got caught, which I
So
wasn't
like
necessarily caught.
so like that was a mic drop.
Yeah, that was kind of a mic drop. That was like the last final blow. And I mean, there
Awesome.
was like doxes that came out after that, but
Oh yeah,
like
that
that
was
was
just
that
to
was
be
the last
expected.
final blow on to be 2T.
Wow. Must have felt so exhilarating.
It was exhilarating. There might be still footage out there if you ask Jumbo Warrior or something. But I was in the call talking to them all, and I was invited to this raid too, even though I already had cores because it was one of Jared's stashes that I helped move. I was blowing it up while I was in voice chat with them on Jared's account. So that was pretty funny.
That's insane. Oh God. There's always these things, and they just go towards something so much greater. But do you think it was for the better? I mean, like you just said that you don't feel like teams are very much worth it, but like why? Like, do you just wanted them to burn?
Yeah, that's really what I want to see happen. I want to see all teams burn to the ground.
Do you think you'll ever try to inside someone again?
No, probably not.
You
That
think
was that
you're
was that was enough inciting for me for a while.
for a
And
while?
it all it did was hurt my reputation. We got really nothing out of it but satisfaction. Like Imperium bounced back. I mean, like we did a lot of damage to Imperium, but they've bounced back. But I mean, they'll never be the same after what I did. I mean, they've seriously declined, but they're patching things up. They're somewhat back to a normal state. Like they're clout mongering and they're letting just about anybody that can breathe into the group.
It's like
But I
they're
mean,
now on
like,
their edge.
yeah,
Okay, so as a sort of a metaphor, like they're scarred and they won't forget what you did.
no, I don't think Imperium will ever recover from what I did. I think Emperor will forever have trust issues, and he'll forever have to comfort his body pillow at night because he fears me. But like, yeah, Imperium will never bounce back. I mean, look, Jumpy was like one of the most powerful people in Imperium, and I basically, I basically tried to turn the whole group against Jumpy. That was one of my big goals because I really hated Jumpy, and he was a big annoyance. All he did was get in the way of inciting. And here he is months later after me getting kicked out. He's getting demoted from Omega to Delta, which that's actually a pretty big step because Jumpy's just toxic in that group.
But like, isn't Jumpy the second man to Emperor?
Oh no, oh no, oh
Or do you feel
no.
like that's been
He
replaced
claims
by
that
Mike?
role. Jumpy was never second in command. Mike was always second in command. Jumpy just liked that role because it patched up his ego.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. You see, Jumpy thrives off his ego, like the ego that he gains from being an Imperium, like because he's adored in Imperium basically because he gets everybody that wants to be an Imperium in Imperium, and they feel like they owe him something for joining Imperium. And one thing I noticed towards the end of my inciting, when I started publicly disliking Jumpy in Imperium, people started publicly disliking me in Imperium and talking behind my back in Imperium just because I didn't like Jumpy.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, other than Jumpy, who's your biggest adversary? Like someone who you really think is matched to your status.
I mean, everybody in Imperium is a brainlet, basically, except for Mike. He's pretty smart. I like Mike. But, like, he's not an adversary. He's not threatening to me. And I mean, I don't take that in a bad way, Mike, if you're watching this.
It's
I
just
see
like
you
you
as a
don't think.
I see Mike as a friend, not an
Yeah,
adversary.
yeah.
Because he was one of the few people that was actually kind to me after I incited. And I mean, very few people of Imperium have even spoken to me after I've incited. It's really only just Mike and Emperor.
Do you feel like
And
your relationship with Emperor is still not the
oh,
worst, or do you feel like he hates you to
it's
the spite of the bone?
I don't think Emperor even I don't think I think Emperor hates me basically. I couldn't tell. I can't tell. I haven't talked to him enough to be able to tell
I mean,
after
like,
I've been kicked out.
no one would be surprised if he absolutely just wanted to smite your bones, but
No,
the fact that he's talked to you just shows that, maybe he forgives but never forget.
I mean, the times that we've talked, it's really just been us screaming at each other and him saying, "Oh, how's your boss doing in jail?" You know, back when everybody thought Jared was in jail. Uh,
Yeah.
um, that's really that's really all it consisted of when I talked to Emperor was you know talking about Jared being in jail, talking
Just
about how I
teasing.
failed so hard. Yeah, he was teasing me basically about how I failed at inciting Imperium, and that
How did you
Imperium's the
fail?
greatest faction. Well, a fellow insider named Skylar or Zoe Springer, pretty high up in Voco, or not anymore. I don't even know. Uh, basically exposed me
Like ratted you out.
publicly. Yeah, basically he started posting screenshots of the private chat that we had with Jared at the time. And basically Emperor himself even told me that if I said those screenshots were fake, he probably would have believed me. Which I'm guessing he denies saying that now, but I vividly remember him saying that after the fact. But yeah, it was Skylar, and Skylar's now a Gamma in Imperium, I think.
But
But
he was a fellow insider.
yeah, he was a fellow insider, but he ratted me out, so he gets good boy points now.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like he would maybe want to go with Jared to inside, but he sort of got attached to the group, unlike you.
I mean, there were times when I was inclined to get attached to Imperium, but I just had to mentally overcome that. And I see how it's easy to be in that faction mindset, but it's just toxic after a while. I mean, I think Skylar did it out of hatred to me, and I'm pretty sure he even said this, that he did it out of hatred towards me.
He hated you. Maybe you think you were going to be the one to inside, so Jared would like you more?
No, basically Skylar quit inciting because Skylar didn't like Jared, I'm guessing. I think that's what went down. Skylar just stopped inciting because Skylar wasn't getting anything from it. Skylar wanted something from inciting. Skylar wanted to get rewarded. Skylar wanted basically to be paid for inciting in however
Paid.
we could pay. Well, not necessarily paid in currency, but like reward for inciting. Which
Oh,
that wasn't
I
really
know
what
what you
our
mean.
inciting group was about.
Yeah, it was just for raising hell for the sake of what the server is, which is anarchy.
Yeah, basically. That's actually, that could be it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's it. But that's the nature of anarchy, I guess, and I'm not butthurt about it.
Yeah, being you being one who helped raise said anarchy, do you feel like you've helped the whole dynamic of keeping the name of true anarchy to the server?
Oh yeah, uh, I think the nature of 2B2T should be going behind people back and not necessarily talking behind one's back, but doing them dirty, screwing them over, inciting. That's the nature of 2B2T, and that's what's so thrilling about it.
It's just the nature of the beast.
Yes.
I can understand where you're coming from. Like there has to be some disorder to make said order, or just disorder for the sake of destruction. So,
Uh, yeah.
hmm so do you think there will be more people like yourself who want to just raise all hell and let hell freeze over so that Satan can take a stroll on 2B2T?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There will always be people like that on 2B2T. That's just the nature of the server. Sorry. And I mean, joining in 2016, I was like 13. So basically, I was raised like I went through puberty with the mindset of 2B2T, which could be a very toxic thing.
So like it like not birthed
It
you, but
manifested itself,
like
like
2B2T
you could
raised you.
say. 2B2T raised me. That's how I like to put it. Yes.
Some people would like to say like 2B2T and the Anarchy is like raising Dipper or all that fun stuff.
Oh gosh, poor Dipper.
Poor,
Poor
poor
Dipper's
Dipper. Oh
parents.
no. So speaking of other people and say your relationship with them, what's your history with some older players like Toro,
Like Toro.
like
Well,
Tarogadude?
obviously, Team Pepsi started in Taragadude's Discord. And Taragadude made a lot of content about Team Pepsi. Like his first face reveal was him drinking a Pepsi. You know, that was pretty funny.
You think that was a homage
Um
to your group?
oh it definitely was. He even said it was. But really, uh well, we even got an episode that Toro didn't upload, sadly. We even got a video on Toro's channel, but he unlisted it because, you know, we were all squeakers.
That's
He couldn't
unfortunate.
upload the content. Yeah, it was sad.
I'm sure many people, many viewers would like to see that.
Oh, geez. It's out there somewhere. I
So,
think I downloaded it at one point. It was a cluster chunk.
oh,
If for those who are familiar with cluster chunk,
can you give us a little description?
it's basically a game mode where you're in a giant circle that is just a bunch of blocks, like different kinds of blocks, like diamond ore, wood blocks. Basically, we are doing Taragadude versus all of Team Pepsi, and half of us were hacking even though we weren't supposed to be. So we destroyed Taragadude every time, basically.
Good old
If you look
competition.
up Cluster Chunk, you'll find the game mode. It was pretty popular back in the day.
Awesome, awesome. So, with other people's relationship, what's your deal with Fee and Sasha?
Okay, this goes back to how I met Jared, basically,
Yeah, yeah, let it all out.
cause after Rhodes 2, which was a base I had with Jared, I had really had no contact with him because the base kind of died out, and Sergeant Pepper and XOXP came to me one day after Sasha had leaked a hacked client made by 086 called uh I don't even know what it's called. It was just a private client that 086 made for his friends, and Sasha leaked it to me and Fee. And from I basically gave Sergeant Pepper and XOXP were basically gonna try and frame Sasha for leaking it, which he did, in all fairness. But I don't even remember it that well. But it was basically like the precursor to like our inciting group, because it brought a few of the insiders together, like
Cool.
Skylar
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
Scented, who were both exposed as insiders.
Cool, cool. Thanks for that. Like, is that it?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a group that we made to try and expose Sasha for leaking a client.
Wait,
And
which
I
client
mean,
again?
I don't even know. It was a private client that 086 made for his friends, and it was
Oh yeah.
basically all this stuff got pasted into uh oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of any client. Kami, whatever
Kami.
it's called. Yeah, Kami. Basically, all the stuff from the private client got pasted into Kami, so it didn't really even matter in the end. But that's really my relationship with Fia and Sasha. It's been really back and forth. It's like, you know, one day for a time it was like one day Fia and Sasha are my friend. The other day, you know, I did them dirty and now they hate me. And the other day I apologize and they're my friend again. But for about the past I don't know, a couple months, they've just hated me because all I do is harass them because they give good reactions. And I actually got Fee demoted in Imperium to to
Yeah.
I don't even know what rank it is.
Gamma?
It's like it's basically the inactive member rank.
Oh, okay, okay. So, oh, that's kind of interesting. So, with being Boo, the legendary guy who everyone's afraid of, people expect you to do something insane when they see you or whatever. So what's the problem with what's the curse of being Boo?
Well, really, it's the curse of being Jared being projected on me. Because Jared is a bad name. Obviously, nobody really likes Jared. I mean, people like Jared, like new fags and stuff. Oh, you're the legendary Jared 2013. But imagine that and not being an old fag. Because people respect Jared because he's an old fag and he's done a bunch of stuff like incursions and But I'm just stuck with the curse of, oh, I incited a group, and now I have a bad name for it. And I've been linked with all this hate that has gone on, all this doxing and all this hatred, and like it especially flared up when Jared quote unquote went to jail, because I caught a lot of the flack for that because I was one of the last people known to be working with Jared at the time, in which I basically was one of the last people working with Jared at the time. But
So with all the backlash that you had, and even now, don't you have some regret?
no,
Not
it's
even a
the
shred
nature
of
of
doubt.
anarchy. No, not a shred of regret at all. It's the nature of anarchy, and if people can't get over it, you know,
Aren't you scared of people, finding where you are and destroying your life?
come and dox me, baby. Come and dox me. I'll eat all the pizza you send me, dude. Find my address. Send me a barbecue pineapple pizza, dude. I will gobble that thing up.
Okay, well, I'm about to ban you from the actual podcast Discord. This video's not going to go up because you actually
Oh
said pineapple pizza.
crap!
Yeah,
Oh
fuck pineapple
crap!
pizza.
All right, all right.
All right, but anyway, that's the end of the questioning from me to you. Is there anything you want to say to the community or myself? There was one question preemptively asked, and that is from Kabata, asking, "What's your favorite cheese?"
Colby Jack.
Really?
Yes.
Any other
Good old Colby
honorable
Jack.
mentions in that?
Honorable mentions: bacon cheese. It's
Ba-
like a.
Fucking bacon cheese?
Yeah, yeah. You can. There's like a local place that sells cheese with bacon in it, and it's freaking good. Not gonna lie.
Great, great, great. So is that it for you?
There's one last thing I'd like to say.
All right, go
Ladies,
ahead.
hit me up. Hit me up, ladies. My Discord tag is boo #7995. Hit me up, ladies. I'm always here, always
That's
online,
B
because I
O
got nothing
O.
to better to do. Yeah, BOO #7995. Got nothing better to do. Play Minecraft all day. Hit me up.
Yeah, nothing more sexy than playing Minecraft.
You
Anyway,
know it.
thank you very much for watching the Anarchy podcast. If you'd like to be part of the discussion,
You're
don't forget to join the actual podcast Discord. Links are in the description below.
it's
I've been
always
your
there.
I've been your host Super. With me we've had Boo, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Basically.
Fuck my friends, they're gone. They all left one by one. And now the summer's done. They don't need no more fun.